Came across a video the other day that I believe explains why antinatalists evaluate suffering so much higher than others do. Now, suffering is an objective experience, but how you evaluate that experience is entirely subjective. In fact, whether or not you give that experience a negative evaluation is largely based on what you believe to be the source of that experience, or that pain and suffering. I'm going to play a clip from this video. It's from RSA.org talk by an evolutionary biologist named Paul Bloom. And it's explaining a simple experiment that I think demonstrates this conclusively.
I want to end by just suggesting that everything I said also applies to pain. And so one nice experiment that illustrates this was done by Kurt Gray and Dan Wegner at Harvard. What they did was they got Harvard undergraduates to strap themselves into an electric shock machine and receive painful electric shocks. There were two conditions. Half of them were told, someone in the next room is going to shock you, but he doesn't know he's shocking you. He thinks he's pressing another button, but he's really shocking you, but he doesn't know it. And 5 shocks come in. The first one is agonizing. They yelp with pain. They rank it as very painful. The second one is the same intensity, but it's experienced as less because you get a bit used to it. The third one is less, the fourth one is less, and the fifth one is less. So it just goes right down. The other group of subjects receives exactly the same physical intensity of shocks. But they're told the guy in the other room is shocking you because he wants to shock you. He knows what he's doing. The first one hurts like hell. The second one hurts like hell. The third one, and the fourth one, and the fifth one. You don't get used to it. Something experienced that you believe to be malevolent hurts much more than something you believe to be not malevolent. In the extreme, under the right circumstances, something that we experience as normally as painful can even transform into pleasure, what Paul Rozin describes as benign masochism. So in the right circumstances, chili peppers inside the mouth, or the exhilaration of movement, under the right circumstances of control, these experiences, which are normally disturbing or unpleasant, can transform themselves into a source of pleasure. And many of us get some of the finest pleasures of our lives, experiencing things that would normally be felt of as pain. The concluding thoughts here, which will be the concluding thoughts for my talk, come from Shakespeare, who wrote, "There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so."
So the fact that the antinatalist believes that existence is an imposition, or you could say that it was imposed by someone malevolently pushing a button in another room, causing them pain and suffering, is strongly affecting their perception of suffering. And therefore it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Their evaluation of suffering is always negative and it never eases up. So the question becomes whether or not you believe the imposition of existence was with malevolent intent. Obviously you can't blame the universe, so you would have to blame or believe that your parents or parent knowingly pushed that button to cause you pain and suffering and thrust you into a game against your will that, from their perspective, was worth the suffering or the pain. You gotta forgive your parents. While they knew that button would hurt you, from their perspective, they also felt it would give you enough pleasure to make up for it.